All right, so today we are going to cut our Agri-cover mat while we get our B&W OEM Goose Ball, but I still want to have the mat in for the protection. So I'm going to show you kind of how I came up with it. I used a little bit of grease on the OEM plastics, and you can kind of see how I just put a little drop there, and then we folded this down, and then I'll show you what I've got going on at all. But there's a little spot of grease there, a little spot of grease there, and I've taken a real sharp blade and I went ahead and cut this, and I'm going to use that kind of as a window. I'm going to cut that one, and I've already made the marks to cut this. A real sharp blade I think makes all the difference here, but you can actually push this out. I've got a couple little guys hanging on here, but that way you can translate that position to the mat, because otherwise, I mean, obviously you can't see through the mat. So get this cut out, show you kind of what that looks like. Okay, feel like a couple more back here. All right, so that's it. You just cut those out. Now we'll lay it back and I'll show you what my intention is. So now I have a window here, and I'm going to try to size this up, and I sharpened up this end. I'm going to try to size this up where I need it to be, and either I'm going to try to press it through, you know, put up some cardboard or something back behind so that when it pops through it doesn't, you know, scratch up our bed, or take it off, take it to the workbench, try to hammer it through. But that'll make a perfect circle, and so that's my intention. I'm going to do that, and then the idea is this stays behind, which I think is a good idea, because you're going to have the gooseneck hooked up here, and the safety chains are going to be back here. And I'd rather the safety chains be dragging around on the mat rather than be on the bed. So, and my intention is to leave these in all the time. I won't leave the ball in. It's going to be greasy and nasty. But I plan to leave these in all the time as a place just to secure stuff. You know, we got our toe box. I want to be able to secure it. And I'm always bringing a little stuff home here and there. So I'm just going to leave these in as another tether point, and then that'll just be a hole. But B&W is kind enough to give you the rubber plug to go there, which theirs is rubbery versus the factory one is like a hard plastic. And once that thing's in there, it's pretty well in there. So I like the B&W a little bit better for that. I opened up my hole a little bit more just so I could see through, and then I used this is a piece of 3-inch exhaust pipe is what this is. I've kind of sharpened the end, and I used it with a paint marker, and I just went inside 4 corners, did my marks. Then we put an exact piece just like this underneath, because I don't want to scar up the bed in the process. I used this just like a big biscuit cutter. And I did have a hard time getting started through the fabric. So coming through the fabric, I actually kind of cheated a little bit. I used the blade to get started through the fabric, but I really only had to cut about half, because once I got started, I was in good shape. I was able to push that through in a perfect circle. So if that lines up right, we're going to be in real good shape. The question is it going to line up right? So let's take a look real quick while I got you there. Let's see what it does. This is a big reveal. I haven't seen it either, so I'm hoping this could be embarrassing. All right. Hey, gotta unlock first. That's it. That looks real good. Real happy with that. Do the others, and this job is done. All right, so this is what it looks like when I got started. I opened up the hole just so I could get my placement right, but there's no marks, no nothing. And the way I did it, my sharp end down, I got it back where I needed it to be. This is the reason you make the marks, because once you get the wood there, you can't see. I got that there. I'm wearing these leathers because, well, I don't want to cut myself. And what I did is I just put as much, you know, pressure as I could on there, and I spun it to kind of use that as a mark. It's hard to see. And I took the knife and I went around the mark just to get started on the thing. So that's exactly how I did mine. I'm excited to show you guys. This actually turned out real good. I'm real happy with it. So here it is, all installed. The reason we went with the B&W is if your ball gets grease on it, which I mean it should, this keeps you clear You're not putting your hand in the grease. But look at that. I mean, that looks great. So I'll show you what they look like out real quick. I kind of thought this was weird that it turns so much. I guess when you're hauling, I don't know if that'll create like some wear. That is such a tight fit. That is real good. So that's what it looks like when it's out. You can put your factory Ford caps back in here, and then the B&W right there. Looks great. Thanks for watching, you guys. I hope yours turns out real good too.